Hi everyone, it's Melissa Phillips here with you today for a fun and easy Make-It Monday. We're going to duplicate this card just in some different colors and using the very same elements. Basically today I'm going to just show you a fun way to use your border dies and your banner dies. You can combine them or use just one of them. Any combination will be fun. It's just basically a way to anchor your focal point using your banner dies or your border dies like I've done here with my butterflies. So we will get started. Just a piece of white cardstock, and then I've cut out my layers and I'll go through those with you. I've used the stitch tag die and some pattern paper. This is the Aqua Mist Vine. Then I've used some Sheer Basics vellum just to lighten that up a little bit. Okay, next Doily Details die, and I used the Luxe Silver Metallic cardstock for that. Okay, couple of Life is Beautiful dies and more sheer vellum just because I wanted to lighten that color up a little bit as well. Let's see, this is the Beautiful Butterflies die, and I've just picked a scrap of floral paper like I did on this card. And then, let's see, button stacks and some vintage cream felt. This is the double-ended banner die and Sheer Basics vellum, and then this is the eyelet lace border die. And those are basically the elements that we're going to use. But first we're going to do a little stamping in the corner using mini blooms just to pull in some color. And then I need to emboss my sentiment right here on my tag. So we will get started with our stamping. Okay, so we'll just start pulling in colors here. And I'm going to start with some Spring Rain. And just a few little flowers down here in this corner. Then we'll mix in some Aqua Mist and some Limeade Ice. Okay, and let's see. Why don't we pull in a little bit of green here? What am I using? I'm using some Spring Moss for our larger bloom. And then we just need to add some fun little leaves. Mini Blooms is such a playful stamp set. I love it. It's just one that you can't mess up, and I've messed up plenty, so this one is friendly, kind. I appreciate that. Okay, we're about ready. To finish her up. Okay. So there's my Aqua Mist layer right there, and I have gone ahead and embossed this with silver embossing powder with the Thinking of You sentiment from Mini Blooms at the bottom of my vellum. And I'm just going to lightly adhere that there. Okay. Now for my next layer, which is the Doily Details die. Going to go right over the top, and I've not punched out my holes. I wanted to leave those in. I like how that looks. So, okay, next layer would be the Life is Beautiful Butterflies, and I'm going to start with this more detailed, bold, colorful butterfly, and then I'm going to cover it with a sheer vellum, a little bit offset, so you can see some of the color. Okay, and then what we're going to do is just kind of crisscross our border dies across the front of this. I do need to trim my eyelet lace die though. I've just got to figure out how long I want it. So I'm just going to do my best to follow that curve on the end. And then I think I will just take off one more little loop here on the end. And that'll be about the right size. Okay, so we will crisscross those across the front to anchor our butterflies. Okay. And while I'm at it, I've had a lot of people ask what adhesive I use. This is my favorite, Beacon 3-in-1. You'll love it. Okay. Oh, you know what I forgot? I love Beacon. May as well mention it because it's not super sticky, super fast. It dries over time, which gives you time to make mistakes like I do all the time. Okay, so we needed our smaller floral butterfly there. That's a beautiful butterflies die, and then we'll just adhere our border and banner across the front. Okay, and then I've cut some vintage cream felt using the Bitty button stacks, and it's going to go right there in the center. And before I add my button, kind of hard to tell, but I've gone ahead and just stitched, machine stitched with my sewing machine right down the center of all of these dies. It just anchors them in place nice and snug, and then you can kind of fold them upwards and give them a lot of dimension. So I will run that through my sewing machine. Okay, so next up is just the embellishing. I've just tied a button with some button twine, and I'm going to adhere that right here to the center after I've done my stitching. You can see it there. I love machine stitching just because you don't have to adhere everything completely flat, completely snug. It just allows you all of this movement with your layers because your card is so secure. Even if I've just done my stitching right here down the center, everything is secure, and it just allows for a lot of movement and playfulness. So, okay, my button's on, and then let's see, we'll go ahead and round my corners. I love rounded corners. I don't know what it is. I can hardly create without rounding my corners. I just think, for me, it adds some softness. Okay. Then a few sequins, and these are just from the Lovely Laurel's Make It Mark It mini kit. So I'm just going to use some of these. They seem to be just the right color. We'll use blue and some of the white. I normally try and set these in place before I adhere them just to make sure I get them right where I want them, but I'm eyeballing it today. Hoping for the best. Okay. And then to finish, I think what we'll do is add, and get my ribbon. I'm done. We'll add a little bit of ribbon. This is the Ocean Tide satin. I'm just going to quickly tie a knot and just a small strip of it. Trim my ends. And adhere that to the top. And our card is finished. Got two finished. Different colors, a few different supplies, but the same technique. Anchoring with our banner and our border dies. Just a fun way to add a little character and movement. Consider adding different shapes underneath your banner dies. Hearts, flowers, stars. Lots, just tags, even tremendous tags would be great under there. So play around with that, and I can't wait to see what you come up with. Thanks for stopping in today.